Hey everyone, it's the Blazer King with King's Critiques, and I'm here to do something I wrote up a little bit ago about Scarlet Nexus, because I watched the anime with my roommate and meant to, you know, read this off to you guys, but actually never ended up doing that, so we're going to do that right now, after I continue to talk and waste time while trying to find the document where I typed everything, because apparently it's not where it's supposed to be. um, Up there it is. I'm about to say, what the fuck? Alright, there we go. Now, I skipped over a couple things, so I'll probably like wing it other than what I've written, but let's play some music and we'll get into the thing. Alright, got that going. Turn it down a little bit more. Alright, so I was writing that after watching the first, yeah, watching that. I was reading this after watching the first portion of the show, and before going into too much, I will say, having watched it kind of in parallel to the game, it's kind of fun to see the differences. Obviously. Jesus Christ. Obviously, for the anime, it can't be as direct into things as the game, so they showed it up and gave it some more backstory and plot, so they hit certain points of that subplot in a different way than the game. And anyway, in addition to making Yuito more mediocre in the anime to fit the traditional ideal for a protagonist in the anime, from what I could tell, once finishing the show, is the plot points between the game and the anime were pretty much all the same, though I haven't seen the rest of Yuito's story in the game yet. But from what I heard, it's pretty much mostly the same. But yeah, I assumed that back then when I was writing this. And the anime itself follows a bunch of tropes we've seen before while also giving a fresh approach to things in a sense. I don't I remember somewhat what I meant by that, but also not really. You know, the whole best friend thing and some issues being caused with that, and the character I'm gonna name sister having some issues of her own. That also happened game anime parallel basically, but moving on to what I have already written, Yuito and Kasane seems like they have one relationship and then eventually have a completely different sort of connection than you'd think they'd have in the beginning. Which was a really interesting surprise. I'm not going to spoil that, obviously, but the curveball that got thrown with that was actually a bit different. Not like it made any difference, but we also explore time travel and the concept of sacrifice for the greater good, resulting in one of the bad guys altering the plan near the end. Fucking bloody Karen of all things. Although it's pronounced Karen, he's still kind of a Karen. In the show, we explore all kinds of personalities with the characters you expect. But the one thing surprising in a game made into anime is the lack of intentional fan service, which, as much as I appreciate it in most shows, not having it is not sometimes nice as well. So it's not made into a focal point from the people, or for people, or whatever. You know, because in most games turn anime, even if that's not the point of the game, they always feel the need to show off, you know, huge tatas and whatnot, to put it lightly. And if you've seen any of my content, you know that's a thing I'm totally into, but I appreciate them not, like, literally shoving it in our faces sometimes. The fight scenes are hit and miss. Some seem pretty lazy, because they reuse, like, transformation sequences and certain attacks without much change to it. Even going as far as to add just like a colored background to the attack in the anime, just to give them easier right to reuse the same stuff, which I know shows and games and such do sometimes for cases like this, but hold on, that's a little lazy. I mean, some are really cool. The animation is beautiful overall. And the change of scenery for the anime was nice to soak in compared to the game. And the emotions one could relate to coming from some situations is enjoyable to feel, even if not realistic with things. All in all, since I don't remember a lot because this was like a month or two ago, I think 26 episodes is a bit much and it could have been shorter. Because for some of the plot they did drag on with, which again, that's the parallel between game and anime, is sometimes the game, like I said, gets straight to the point usually, unless you decide to derive from the directive. And the anime is just basically, oh hey, yeah, this stuff's going on and I gotta deal with this other bullshit first. It's ridiculous. But it was a good show all in all. It only came out last year, surprisingly, and if you dig anime based off games that are good representations, this is one of those, and I'd recommend checking it out. And before that replays one more time, um, I hope Mr. Goatee doesn't mind the fact that I used his cover for this. I'm gonna put the link to that down there. It's only a minute and a half long, but gotta give credit where credit is due, like I do for Amelie or Nate or whoever I decide to use for these to avoid copyright, because as long as you mention the cover artists, most of them really don't mind. But yeah, afterthoughts from what I wrote down are it is a good show. I'd like recommend it to people past the general reasoning I gave. They even want something fun to watch that's only like small to mid length. This would be one of those. But if anyone has seen it and agrees or disagrees with any of my thought processes, you can let me know in the comment section. Oh, and of course, the cliche thought process that I have to have. Actually, I can't. I know there was one other girl who is considered waifu status from this. I can't remember her name though. But Kasane is totally a waifu. Like, the white hair, red eyes, 9 times out of 10. Gorgeous characters. But yeah, agree, disagree with me on that. Your own thoughts on that, or anything else to do with that kind of stuff, or thoughts on the show's plot, or what have you. Let me know all that in the comment section down below, as well as, of course, other shows I should watch this season, next season, or in general. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to my main channel in the description down below. Ring both bells like Facebook, follow Twitter to keep updated with things. Follow me on TikTok where I upload batches once in a while. I might start using my Instagram because apparently I can upload similar length of videos onto there, so we'll see. And of course, follow me on Twitch. Subscribe there for benefits. Can do so Twitch Prime for free. And until next time, been the Blazer King with King's Critique. Sign out. Ta-ta for now. Peace.